Okay, so it's week 3 of Power of Food, and you guys are doing wonderfully in the 2 different forums. What I would say is start to watch my comments a little bit for a little bit of a push, where if I don't think that you are getting at the entire prompt or that your response could go a little bit deeper, I'm going to start pushing you either in the public comment or I might leave you a private comment with your grade. And remember too, we need to hit that word minimum. We're not hitting that word minimum with fluff. We're hitting that word minimum with thought and content. So that's the other thing I'm going to be watching for as we kind of get used to these 2 forums. But this week we are starting a memoir, and a memoir is a unique vehicle for a writer, and we of course are reading this memoir in a course entitled Power of Food. So this book may have pushed a few of you out of your comfort zone. A Tiger in the Kitchen, it's new for this class. I used to use something called A Tuscan Childhood, which a lot of students had a little trouble with, just because her writing was a little choppy. I'd say the writing in here is a little choppy as well. I probably wouldn't have read it if I hadn't been teaching this course. You might not have read it if you hadn't been taking this course, and that is absolutely okay. That's what college courses are supposed to do. They're supposed to push us a little bit beyond our comfort zone. And in this book, we are going to be reading about food that is probably not very familiar to us too. So it's pushing us out of our comfort zone in 2 different ways. But memoir as a genre is something that is very different from autobiography. In autobiography, it's kind of, I lived, I died, I did all of these things in between, bump, bump, bump. Memoir is different. Memoir looks at life, but looks at life through a specific lens. And the lens here, of course, is food for Cheryl Lulin. And I do have a quote here from another autobiography memoir person who said that memoir puts a frame on life by limiting what's included. And that's exactly what's happening. The frame here is food for this woman. And so she's not only going back to her roots in Singapore, she's not only going back to her family, she's going back through food. And so that's what's so important, and food being this connection to this grandmother who she barely knew and really didn't honor and appreciate when she was alive. And so food is that connection, not just simply being around my family, but actually going back, learning those recipes, and connecting back to these memories of her youth and how these things tasted. So as you read this, you can see I asked you in the post to really take one line or one passage and tell me how food is powerful in this memoir. And for your other forum, your discussion forum, you're doing something where you're kind of looking at our culture and saying, how does media represent food, and what messages is our culture sending? What messages is media sending about our culture through the consumption of food? So hopefully this will be a good week to look at culture as well, because we're also going to be looking at how, in Singapore, what food meant, which is going to line us up for ethnicity, nationality, and culture moving forward. So hopefully this will be a week that brings a lot of things together and puts us on a good track moving forward. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.